Oh, hey, it's me. Sorry, just checking my messages. Episode 128 of the Basement Tapes is here. And we're going to sound a little bit like a broken record here because there's a lot of confusion. Well, not confusion, but there's a clutterance of similarly marketed sets here. And we just talked about the 1963 Jello. Jello. Now we're going to talk about the 1963 Post set. Got, what do I have there? I got 35 of those, according to Beckett. The organizer, let's check Beckett OPG, says there's 207 total. Average value $30.66, $6,346 total value. 2,400 to $4,800 for a set of these. These are pricey, as you can imagine. The cards in this 200 card set measure 2.5 by 3.5. The players are grouped by team. American leaguers comprising 1 through 100, and National Leaguers 101 through 200. Won't bore you with some of that, but it says in contrast to the 1962 issue, the 63 Post Baseball card series is very difficult to complete. There are many scarcities reflected in the prices below. Cards of the Post set are easily confused with those of the 1963 Jello set, which are a quarter-inch narrower, a difference which is often eliminated by bad cutting. The catalog designation is F278-38, food issue. There is or was also an album produced by Post to hold the cards. The album could only hold 120 cards. So again, more scarcer than its predecessor from 1962 and a little bit different than the Jello cards as we know. 207 cards total, so we have some variations that perhaps we'll learn about. The big guns in this are card 187, Bob Aspromonte. Yes, you heard that from the Houston Colt 45s. Mickey Mantle, and then Carl Yastrzemski. So that's the big hitters there. Let's go to TCDB. 200 cards, they say, can be distinguished from Jello cards from the same year by the fact that the red horizontal line dividing stats extends beyond the blue stars. So a little bit extra red line love on these cards. Teams are your average normal teams of the day: Orioles, Red Sox, Cubs, White Sox, Reds, Indians, Tigers, Colt 45s. Athletics, Angels, Dodgers, Braves, Twins, Mets, Yankees, Phillies, Pirates, Giants, Cardinals, and the Senators. Areas and variations, there's 20 of them. Jim Cott has a variation. He's got a light pole in the background of one of them and no light pole in the back of the other. So I could see the light in the bottom left there of card number 10 on 10A. On 10B, I cannot see that light pole. Not sure why we had to get rid of it, but it's gone. Gone. Yogi Berra has a black bill on cap on card 17A, and on card 17B, it's actually green. That is a trick with lighting or post production. Sure. Joe Crope, he's got a batting average issue discrepancy on his cards, as does Leon Wagner. Nellie Fox has no bat showing in card 36A. Card 36B, the background is there. It's a stadium, and there's a bat showing as well. So there's that. Daryl Spencer, card number 124, appears to have no hand showing. And card number 124A has his hand showing, which is probably his bat resting on his right shoulder. Nellie Fox, we talked about him. Frank Robinson has no stripes on his cap in card 31. And in card 131B, he surely has stripes on his card there, and a little airbrushing out of some stadium action as well. So some post-production stuff going on there, and post serial back in the day. Bob Shaw, he's got a statistical variation there. Bill White has a height discrepancy. Well, not really a discrepancy, just a transposition. Height 6 foot in card 158A and 6 foot dash 0 inches in 158B. And Lindy McDowell has an asterisk before his trade line and no asterisk before his trade line in a corrected version. Hall of Famers, 36 of them. They're all there, including variations. So we will not get that boring with that. Inserts and related sets. There's a post serial major league team pennants available. Let's see if we can look at the comments here. A lot to talk about here if he's added again in 2010. But let's talk to Jack Webster. Number 187, Bob Aspromonte, was only found in 10-ounce Raisin Bran. His card was supposed to be in the 15-ounce Oat Flakes, but for some reason, the 15-ounce Oat Flakes, although scheduled to have cards, never did. So you had to get the 10-ounce Raisin Bran to get the 187 Bob Aspromonte. Iffy tells us two sets that look very similar with two minor differences. The postcards are slightly larger width-wise than the Jello sets, and the hairline rule separating the statistics is shorter on the Jello version. The easiest way to remember this is to compare a Jello and postcard side by side. Then you won't ever forget the differences. The easy way to approach this set is to try and build a composite set. There are a number of short prints in both sets that are tough, and they are different post to Jello. For example, post versions of Jim Bunning, Yaz, Jimenez, or Jimenez, as they say in the barrio, Floyd Robinson, Willie Davis, Billy Williams, and Kurt Flood are all really tough. The Jello versions of these cards are much easier to locate, but be aware that many dealers on eBay frequently try to sell those cards as post, when they are actually the Jello version. The overall Jello set is chock full of short prints. There are at least 40 to 50 different cards in the set that are harder to find. I think one of the Ray Lures last cards in the set was Don Mossy. A Jello version is really tough to find, whereas the post version is easy. Last note, this set has the toughest card to find across any of the post sets, Bob Aspromonte. He must have been found only on Bran Flakes or some other tasteless cereal because he is near impossible to find. Another toughie is either Jello or post will be Jerry Adair. If he bring in the facts, a little chin music there on the facts. He's letting us know what's going on there in the cereal card world. Look at the Sugar Crisp box with a nice Duke Snyder as a New York Met there in the upper right hand. The back of the box has some fun cards as well. Landrum, Del Greco, Alou, Ralph Terry, Dick Brown, and Frank Robinson. The Rice Crinkles have 4 cards on the back and a pennant offer by our manufacturer. And then there are the little Alphabets, tiny little boxes, single-use servings with 1 card on the back. And there's the collector's album that we learned about in Jello as well. Gallery, it looks like all of the other cards that we've seen from Post and or Jello. Again, the line between the yearly and lifetime statistics extends past the stars on the bottom on each side. So that's how you tell that it is a Post card. Otherwise, it's the exact same thing. Let's see if we can find somebody to read about here that the scan will work. How about Bill Bruton, card number 49, Detroit Tigers outfielder. He's 6 foot, 169. Bats left, throws right. Born December 22nd, 1929. His home is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. In his second year with the Tigers, Bill established a new high for himself in RBIs in 1962. In 8 seasons with the Braves, he hit .276 in 1,052 games, twice led the NL in triples, 3 times in stolen bases, in runs in 1960, and putouts by an outfielder in 1955. On August 2nd, 1959, second game of a doubleheader, Bill tied a major league record for most triples with 3 in a game. He led AL outfielders in putouts in 1961, his first with the Tigers. So this kid could fly, as they say, and he is proudly showing his triple stats, which outnumber his home run stats up to that point. So that's it. That's the 1963 Post cereal cards. Lots to digest there, literally. I did not mean to say that, and figuratively, because the differences between the Jellos and the Posts are very, very intriguing. So that's it. Basement Tapes 128.